How's it going, my fellow audience? Welcome back to Ronan's Tomatoes. It's been too long since we last aired, but now I'm back and I'm ready for another review. Today's review will be Toy Story 5. First off, before I begin reviewing this, let me just ask, who in their right mind asked for a Toy Story 5? 3 had a satisfying ending and was a tearjerker of a movie. 4, despite it being good, undid the ending of the previous installment, and now here we go again, where this one undid the ending of the previous installment, but even worse. Now with that said, the movie is not bad, but it is honestly disposable. The story about toys versus technology seems interesting on paper, but the way that they executed the story was unbelievably predictable, and at times cringe-inducing. And there's something that I need to point out that I don't think everyone else won't realize until I say this. But this movie's story is literally the exact same plot as Inside Out 2, except its emotion and charm has been sucked up by nothing but references to the previous Toy Story movies, and even other Pixar movies. Think about it. Lily Pad is essentially anxiety. The toys, like the emotions, want to get rid of her because she tries to take control. She banishes them out of the bedroom and into storage, and now they have to find their way back home. I get you're running out of ideas, Disney, but you don't have to rehash the plot of your other successful films. I swear there was some point in the movie where I saw a clear carbon copy of a setting from Zootopia 2. If you've seen the movie, you'll know what frame I'm talking about. There's also an endless barrage of slapped-together references to the previous Toy Story movies, and much like Mufasa, they don't feel nearly as earned or enjoyable as they were before. The characters are pretty much either dumbed down or devoid of emotion. I will give the movie credit for not making Buzz dumb like he was in Toy Story 4, but he still feels like a character who has fallen from grace. Oh, and the army of Buzzes that tag along for the journey, they're not even helpful to the plot. Jesse's side plot had potential, but it was all thrown away thanks to rushed timing and comedic gags. The new characters are only plot devices so they can help Jesse and the others on their journey. The Conan O'Brien character was pretty fun, and some of his jokes landed for me. Normally, I'm not a huge fan of toilet humor, but it works surprisingly well in this movie. There wasn't a time in this movie where I facepalmed at any of his jokes. However, the soundtrack is weak because they reuse motifs from the previous movies in the franchise, and even other Pixar movies that Randy Newman has done. There were points in the movie where I said, oh, it's this track from this Toy Story movie, or oh, it's this track from this other Pixar movie, and I just got bored. Also, You Got a Friend in Me is not even in the movie. How is it possible to do it in the previous movies but not this one? Oh, I know why. It's because they had to put a Taylor Swift song for the Swifties. Now, before all the Swifties summon their forces against me, let me explain that I actually did like her song. It was nice to see her return to her country roots. It's kind of like what I'm doing here. If you don't know already, this is a revival of my high school broadcast segment where I did spoiler-free movie and show reviews. If you'd like to learn more about Ronan's Tomatoes, you can click the link in the description. Anyway, my one gripe with the song is not that it's bad, but it's that it was wasted on the end credits. Songs for credits can still be impactful. For instance, What I've Done by Linkin Park in the first Transformers movie. The score really sells the moment, whereas when I hear this, it feels like white noise. I would have loved to see this song in a more impactful moment and not as a footnote at the end. It's almost like Disney is the only company that can afford to hire someone popular like Taylor Swift to do this song, as if they're saying, hey look, we got this really big name to do our song. Step aside, indie creators, that Oscar is ours. Massive props to the animators over at Pixar because it's clear that they still have it in them. Outside of the traditional 3D animation that we're used to with Pixar, they do an incredible use of 2D animation with the playtime scenes. I heard this art style will be implemented in their next film, Gato, and after seeing the trailer in theaters, you know what? I'm actually excited for that. It's great to see animation evolve, and as a lover of film and animation, I'm here for it. But without diving into spoilers, there was one other element that I found was actually pretty good in this movie, and that's the chemistry between Buzz and Jesse. As we've seen in 3, their dynamic and romantic chemistry is strong, and it was inevitable that it would continue in this movie. Anyway, to wrap my thoughts up, I thought Toy Story 5 was passable enough, but in terms of a Toy Story movie, this is easily the weakest one in the franchise. It was hard for me to rate this on the Ronan's Tomatoes meter, but I'm giving it 6 tomatoes out of 10. It was fine. just another Toy Story movie. And from what I heard, there's going to be a Toy Story 6 and 7. Oh, cut! Well, thank you for watching this edition of Ronan's Tomatoes. I'm Ronan Daglish, and that's a wrap.